Hey guys, so I've been looking at some videos and I keep getting referenced these Black Lives Matters videos or these songs about Black Lives Matters, and I thought I'd say something about it because I've touched on this before but I haven't really touched on it that much, and I feel like this is sort of an important thing because these days everybody says white privilege is like a thing, and it's big, and like white people put their privilege on everybody else and yada 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 blah blah blah. Okay, so I feel like that as much as people bringing up people who have suffered culturally is a good thing, there's a huge criticism to it, and I think that that's really important that we don't ignore it. So when I was a child, okay, I'm gonna go into some of my life shit here, which my life growing up was not great, and so this is probably going to be a depressing video, so I thought I'd bring this up. So when I was younger, I went through a lot of crap, right? I mean, when I was 11, my father, my actual biological father, moved in, and that was not great. There was a lot of abuse there, but he wasn't the first person to be abusive to myself or my family, right? There's other people too that were quite abusive. Even one of my first memories is witnessing somebody holding up my sister and shaving her head off. Hair off, not head. That would be problematic. But I mean, we grew up that way and it was normalized, you know? If you did something wrong, you'd get hit or whipped or belted. Literally. Belt buckles and all. That was the norm for my family. And this isn't all my family, but this is that part of my family. And I think my family knew because they backed off a little bit, but that's a whole nother situation. Anyway, so when I was younger, we weren't wealthy at all. My mum was on Centrelink my entire life. I think I only remember her working at the op shop and my nonna's cafe for a little bit, but that was when I was very little. So most of the time we would eat not great. We would have so my mum used to do food parcels, and a lot of the time with food parcels sometimes you'll even get food that's not it's spoiled or stale or whatnot, but pretty much as long as it didn't have mold they'd be fine to give it. So we wouldn't eat that great. My sister, right, she ended up having to go into a few things too, which is her personal business, but there's some problems with her too that is her story. But there DHS and all that were regular in our homes, right? We would get the police coming over regularly too. There was a lot going on, and the thing is that I was always told whenever I brought these issues up to adults around me that, oh, you're probably exaggerating, or it's probably nothing, and all that. And I mean, yeah, and seeing people it's really frustrating. And I don't mean to say this to invalidate anybody else's problems or sufferings or whatnot, but it is really frustrating when people start saying Black Lives Matter and all that kind of stuff too, and that all white people are privileged and all white people are racist and yada yada yada, because the fact of the matter is, like, these cases still go on. Like, I actually know people who go through this regularly and they're white, and I feel like the dangerous thing about this stuff is that with Black Lives Matter and the culture around cancelling white people, that the biggest problem is that these problems get ignored, like what happened to me and my family. Like, our issues got ignored by everybody around us, which, like, made us suffer. So, like, it was a really difficult situation. And, like, I mean, like, even the fact that my grandfather on my dad's side, like, he's committed suicide from being a pedophile, right? On my uncle as well, he's dead. My father killed himself. Like, one of my most vivid memories of seeing my father, right, was like that he lit the backyard on fire and burnt all of my books because apparently I had too many distractions from cleaning, even though I cleaned. Like, I cleaned from getting home up until dinner time. And then after dinner, I was allowed maybe half an hour on the PlayStation. And he took all of my school books and everything. The only book he didn't burn was the Bible. Quote, just in case God's real, unquote. He wrote hate in his arm. Like, he cut hate in his arm. This was like his first suicide attempt. He cut hate in his arm, and I remember seeing that vividly, you know. And the thing is, like, we were all white, you know. And, like, the thing is, I hear about this stuff happening around white people all the time, but these problems are being ignored. Like, nobody on social media cares or anything. They're just like, oh, like, you're white, so you must be privileged, you know? And that's fucking stupid. Because, like, that's not always how it works. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that, but, like, don't invalidate anybody's struggles just because they're white, you know? Because, like, they're very real. Like, violent people, they don't necessarily choose based on race. They choose based on vulnerability and, like, power, you know? And that's not about race. That's about, like, a control factor where they can put themselves above somebody else for whatever reason. And it's very, very dangerous to ignore the fact that these shitty things happen. So, anybody, like, if I ever hear anybody say that I've got white privileged again, just please know that, like, I don't believe that I ever had white privilege, you know? I mean, sure, police are nice to me because I'm not rude to them, right? They're nice to like, I've had black friends, I've got Asian friends, like, I live in a country that's very multicultural, you know? And they're nice to them too. Surprise. Sometimes you'll get a jerk here saying, like, something racist to them, but, like, I got that too where I lived, because, like, where I lived, the white people count is sort of lower than everybody else, you know? I used to live in a predominantly Aboriginal area, and I used to get like, verbally attacked and even physically attacked sometimes, just because of my skin color, you know? And, like, the fact of the matter is, like, all races experience racism. You know, racism doesn't pick a race. Racism is to distinguish a difference or have a unperceived bias upon somebody just because of their skin color. So if you point out somebody's black and put them up to a pedestal, you're being racist. If you point up somebody's white and try and lower them, you're being racist. No matter what, if you distinguish a difference without even talking to somebody, simply based on their skin color without knowing their story, you're being racist. No matter what. It doesn't matter. You can't change definitions of words just to suit your agendas and just to hate on people, because that's really all it's about. Let's be real. These people who are hating on white people are hating on them because they want to hate on somebody. So fuck you guys. At the end of the day, that's it. That's all I can say about the matter.